What's up?
In order to make the Nicole's keto
Nikki's
keto roll,
yes,
whatever.
Don't whatever your mother.
You're gonna need crab classic imitation crab. You're gonna need the sushi nori seaweed sheets. You're gonna need your salmon already pre-sliced, nice thinly sliced. You're gonna need the Romanov caviar.
Which is surprisingly cheap.
Yeah. Well, it was on sale. You're gonna need your sliced avocado. You're gonna need your cucumbers. These have been cut kind of almost in squares, not really much. We had to skin off the dark green outer layer. After that, then we made them into little squares. And even these are slightly too big. We actually have to cut them in half.
Oops.
And
that almost went fire.
You slice celery into squares. These are very small squares.
It's moving it around.
And when you do the celery, what made it taste better for us was taking off the outer stringy layer from the celery. So we're just getting ready to make our next roll here. You're also going to need, we have it in the mixer thing, we used cauliflower.
Cooked cauliflower, cool.
We may have cooked it a little too much, so it's overly soft, but as a paste, it still works.
Think consistency of mashed potatoes. I think next time we won't cook it as long, so it's firmer. So when we do chop it up, it's more like a chop than a mash. Because the liquid, how liquid it is giving us an issue with the seaweed wrap. To where we actually have to use 2 seaweed wraps instead of just 1. So don't be afraid to use 2 of them at once. Okay. And we put, when you get your seaweed wrap, there's 2 sides to it. There's a shiny, softer side, flatter side, and then there's a textured side. We put the 2 textured sides together. Like if you feel this, it's like choppy. And then this side's smoother.
Yep.
Only in comparison to the other side. Mm-hmm. It's not actually smooth. But we put those 2 sides together.
I have washed my hands, but I'm going to be helping her hold it down so that we can put the paste on, because, you know, it's paste.
it's sliding off, and we don't have the bamboo roll, and we're using a Ziploc. So we're making do. We don't have it, but we're making do. All right. You put as much or as little as this on. Just do the center third of the of the seaweed wrap. Okay. Again, because of the liquid consistency of this paste, it's not ideal for working with the seaweed wrap, but it's working. Okay.
It tastes fine. I like it, actually.
But like I said, next time we gotta not so well done. And
I think you put a little too much on that time.
Actually, there's a lumpy one in here.
Oh, there's still a piece of cauliflower in there.
There's a piece of cauliflower that survived that mashing. Wow. All right. There's still a lot.
You don't need that much.
I'll put the rest back. I just want to make sure that it's an even consistency in here. Mm. Plus, this one's on camera, so.
Yeah, but you put a little too much.
Actually, no, I think it's perfect. This is the same amount we put on the other one.
So it's quite thin that she's doing here, to be honest.
Yeah, usually when we used to do it with rice, same thickness, maybe a little bigger. But again, like I said, this is really liquidy, our cauliflower, and it should not be. Which is why we're having a little bit of an issue with it. But we'll go ahead and pile everything else up on top of this again. Put that over there. Ta-ta-da! My favorite part.
So this is the Crab Classic imitation crab that we're putting on. We basically just cut them in half because the first time we tried, we used quartered amounts of it. Yeah. And it was a little too little.
I'm reaching past you. Where did you put my...
What?
There it is.
Oh, that's your piece That's your pre-cut piece of cucumber.
Mm-hmm. I actually like more cucumber in it now.
I actually like the lots of avocado we're putting in, to be honest. Oh, one of them broke. Sorry.
That's okay. It's just going to smush in there anyway. Here, can you give me another piece of cucumber? Cucumber is too thin.
It is? Really?
Yes. Yes, but I'll cut this next one thinner again. Oh, actually, that's really thin. Yeah, that's really thin too. No, I don't. Should I cut it? Should I not cut it?
I think that piece of cucumber is fine.
You think it's good enough? Okay. And again, just 2 small pieces of the
Celery.
celery. You don't want to go too big with the celery because celery actually has a taste. This is more, because you take that top piece off of the celery, you don't get as much of that celery taste. And this also gives it more stability, just like the cucumber gives it more stability in here. And this is the hard part. I know I'm doing it wrong because I don't have the proper equipment to do it correctly. I lift my finger.
That white's probably going to smush out.
Yeah, that white stuff's going to smush out again like it did last time, but that's okay. That's okay. It's smushing in. Can't help but lift my finger. Let's see, it's smushing out again. Yeah, can you hold on one side there? So, thank you. And then, don't mind the cat scratches on my hand. Someone loves me a little too much and he likes to bite.
Beautiful roll.
Beautiful roll. But I'm going to take it off here. Pardon me. I'm going to put the salmon on top.
And this is why we have little pieces of the
yeah, because we put it on the table because we
over.
just can't help ourselves. Okay.
So our salmon was in the freezer for 3 days because we kind of got it on a discount, and you know what?
I don't.
Nobody wants worms.
So you know, you put.
So we didn't flash freeze. We
just
froze.
Right, you just freeze it. Salmon is great. Having it raw is no problem. People have an issue because they're afraid it's going to give them some kind of parasitic worm. There's different diseases and stuff. But when you put it in the freezer for 3 days, one, I find it makes it softer feeling and softer. The taste, I feel it's more tender. And what actually put that on after we cut it. I'm making a bigger one, so I like the big ones.
I'd like to see the inside of it if you'd like. If you
Okay.
move it over, because if you make it nice and perfect,
I will make it perfect. I'm gonna do nice big ones. Where was I? Yes. If you put it in the freezer, you will actually kill the parasites if there's any in there.
they look so good.
This group actually came out well, it seems. Just
Don't
dust that on. Don't actually pile it on. You're not at a yachting event.
Unlike the salmon roe, this is a lot more salty, so that's why you want less on here. The salmon roe I like better still, but they didn't have it in our store, so we had to.
Not sure I'd buy it anyway with the issues that they're having.
Look at how sparkling and beautiful that is.
Let's look down this way. This one's a good one. Look at this one.
All of them are
down.
beautiful, Mama.
Come down a little.
I am. And you're chewing in the ear and the speaker.
Sorry. I like this one. Looks pretty.
Yeah, that one's really nice. But they're beautiful. And the paste works fine. It's just a little mushy when you pick it up, but
yeah, when you're trying to roll it, it gets
fine.
a little bit came out. But other than that, it all stayed in.
And obviously, if you did the cauliflower correctly and kept it drier, it would be fine.
My original idea I was thinking was with the cauliflower was not cooking it as much as I did, okay, because I boiled it. I should have paid attention to boiling it and not have boiled it as much. After chopping it up, what I wanted to do was actually stick it in the oven and in a small thin layer up on the top and toast it so it dries it out. Kind of gives it a consistency of a breadcrumb almost. And then we would have used it. It's also my idea for using it as a breadcrumb. So, like, we have another piece of salmon that we're going to eat tomorrow, which is the other half of this one. And if I had more cauliflower, because surprisingly, a little does not go a long way. You need a lot to go a little way. I was going to use that breadcrumb sort of cauliflower as a breadcrumb on the salmon when I go and pan fry it and then stick it in the oven.
This is just the basic recipe.
And I really have no idea how to cook, but we've been having a lot of fun with this.
Because we're on keto and we're trying to find new recipes and
new
stuff.
recipes rather than substituting for
rice or bread or...
Yeah, just forget about the rice, the bread. Just don't go for it at all. I'm not trying to substitute something that's bread-like into something. I think it's doing yourself a disservice because then you still want the bread. Just forget about the bread. You're not having it no more. No grains, no nothing. But the cauliflower can give me a vehicle for something that I like, you know, in a way that I like my food. I love sushi. Can't do rice, but this is a sushi recipe that has no rice. You know, I'm not substituting it for rice. I made a new recipe. If you keep that in your head, you don't cry over the things that you loved that you can't have no more. Which really, I mean, you can. I still once a month make my homemade sourdough bread. But I'm not crying over not having bread because I'm not missing it. All right, so I want to eat my piece. I'm taking the big one because you had that last one.
Yep.
She won the fight.
So have a good day, guys.
Look at that picture. Hold on, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look good?
Oh, it's too exposed.
Too exposed?
The camera's too bright.
Too bright?
The light. That's fine.
Okay.
It's
Dark
fine.
and
No,
light?
that's
No?
not helping.
That didn't help? Okay, well, I don't know.
Obviously, we're newbies with the camera. Here
I
you
know.
go. Have a good night.